Anna Wright had been sitting in front of a blank monitor screen for 20 minutes. The spacious office of the creative agency Spark Design was gradually quieting down. The workday was coming to an end, and most of the employees had already left. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, unable to decide whether to start working on a new logo for a pharmaceutical company. The order was urgent, but her creative block proved stronger than the deadline. "Stuck again?" Jamie Hart's voice snapped her out of her stupor. Anna flinched and smoothed a stray strand of chestnut hair. "I can't concentrate. I've been struggling with this project for 3 days now." Jamie, the agency's art director and Anna's best friend, leaned against the edge of the table. "Maybe that's enough for today?" 8 o'clock on a Friday evening was not the best time for creative breakthroughs. "I need to finish the sketches by Monday." Anna rubbed her temples. "Although you're right, I won't be able to create anything worthwhile right now anyway." She turned off her computer and began to gather her things. 3 months after breaking up with Alex, her habit of staying at work until nightfall had not disappeared. Her desk was the only place where she could avoid thinking about the past, at least sometimes. Boston greeted them with a damp October evening. The light rain turned the streetlights into blurry orange spots. "Let's go to my place," Jamie suggested, turning up the collar of his coat. "We'll order pizza and watch some silly comedy. You shouldn't spend another Friday night alone." Anna smiled gratefully but shook her head. "I promised myself I'd sort through Alex's things today. They're still in boxes in the storage room." "You can do that tomorrow," Jamie frowned. "No, I've been putting it off for a month. It's time to get it over with." Jamie looked intently at his friend. "Do you want me to help?" "I have to deal with this myself," Anna said firmly. "But thank you." In the taxi on the way home, the memories came flooding back with renewed force. It was almost a year ago. That was when Anna first noticed the strange message on Alex's phone. He said it was a patient with borderline personality disorder who wasn't respecting professional boundaries. The explanation sounded logical. After all, Alex was a psychotherapist specializing in trauma and personality disorders. But then, there were other messages. Strange coincidences, canceled appointments, lies that he didn't even try to make convincing, as if testing how much she was willing to accept. And then, that morning when she found dozens of photos of another woman on his phone, and not just her. When Anna confronted him, Alex didn't deny it. Instead, he began listing all her flaws that pushed him to cheat. Too emotional, too demanding, not interesting enough in bed. Only later, in therapy, did she realize that she had been the victim of gaslighting, a manipulative technique that makes a person doubt their own adequacy. The apartment greeted Anna with its usual silence. The small but cozy one-bedroom apartment in Back Bay had been her refuge for the past 3 months. After breaking up with Alex, she couldn't stay in their shared apartment, where every corner reminded her of the 3 years of their relationship that had ended in disaster. Boxes of Alex's belongings stood untouched in the storage room since the move. Anna stared at them for a few minutes, gathering her strength. Then she took a bottle of wine out of the refrigerator, poured a glass, and resolutely opened the first box. Psychology books, the sweater she had given him last Christmas, photos from their trip to Vermont, where they looked so happy. Anna methodically sorted through the items, putting most of them into bags for charity. She tore up some of the photos, feeling nothing but relief. Her phone vibrated, a message from Jamie. "How are you doing? Want to reconsider?" Anna smiled. From the moment she told him about the breakup, Jamie hadn't left her alone for a single day, dragging her to exhibitions, movies, concerts, anywhere, just to keep her from sinking into depression. "I'm fine, almost done. I'm free tomorrow. We can go to that new bar you told me about," she replied. By midnight, Alex's things were gone. Anna felt a strange emptiness and, at the same time, relief. It was as if she had removed a painful abscess that had been preventing her from breathing for a long time. Scrolling through the news feed on her phone, She almost accidentally opened the dating app she had installed a week ago at Jamie's insistence. "It's time to move on," he had said. Anna doubted she was ready for a new relationship, but agreed to at least try. Dozens of profiles flashed before her eyes. Confident smiles, photoshopped beach photos, standard phrases about a love of travel and good food. Nothing that caught her attention. But then she stopped. The profile of a man named Niels Eriksson, 35 years old, architect. Something about his face caught her eye. Not classic Hollywood beauty, but rather intelligence, self-confidence, a slight half-smile that revealed barely noticeable wrinkles at the corners of his eyes. Perfectly balanced features, as if created by an experienced sculptor. In architecture, as in relationships, the most important thing is balance, between form and function, between space and light, between two people, read his short biography. Anna scrolled through the photos. Niels working on a model. Niels against the backdrop of the ocean. Niels with a book in a cafe. Each photo looked natural, without the pretentiousness typical of most profiles. Her finger hovered over the screen for a second. The last 3 years had taught her to be cautious. A beautiful facade can hide a rotten foundation. She had learned this from her own bitter experience. But something urged her to take a chance. Anna took a deep breath and clicked like. Less than a minute later, a notification appeared on the screen about mutual interest and the first message from Niels. "Nice to meet you, Anna. Your portfolio is simply magnificent, especially the project for Aqualife. I rarely see such a perfect combination of functionality and aesthetics." Anna froze. Had he studied her portfolio? Most men limited themselves to routine compliments about her appearance. Her professional work was only mentioned in a link that few people bothered to open. Maybe it was a coincidence? Or just a lucky compliment? But something in his choice of words, in his specific mention of the Aqualife project, caused a strange feeling of unease. It was as if someone was watching her from afar. Someone who knew more than a random stranger from a dating app should know. Anna put her phone away, deciding to reply in the morning. Too many emotions for one evening. Too many ghosts from the past that she was trying to get rid of. Tomorrow, with a clear head, she would decide whether to continue this acquaintance or whether it was better to trust her instinct for self-preservation, which was insistently signaling danger. Saturday morning began with a message from Jamie. "So, have you decided to reply to the architect?" Anna put her phone down. After yesterday's emotional evening, thoughts of a new acquaintance evoked mixed feelings. Over the past few months, she had been carefully building boundaries, fearing a repeat of her painful experience with Alex. In the afternoon, over coffee at her favorite coffee shop on Charles Street, Jamie persistently returned to the topic. "Have you even seen his profile? Architect, 35, shared interests, design, art, but you set the filters yourself in the app." Anna reluctantly showed him the correspondence. So far, there was only one message, the one, strangely specific, about the Aqualife project. "Anna," Jamie said softly, "I understand your fear, but you can't hide forever. Not all men are manipulators, and this one even took the trouble to study your portfolio. Isn't that a sign of serious interest?" By evening, Anna had made up her mind. "Thank you for the compliment. It's rare for anyone to pay attention to professional projects," she wrote, trying to keep her tone neutral. The reply came almost instantly. "I've always believed that a person's work says more about them than a selfie on the beach. Your style reveals a subtle sense of balance between creativity and practicality. That's a rare gift." That's how their virtual correspondence began. Niels wrote competently and meaningfully. He talked about his architectural projects, asked about her work, and shared his opinions on exhibitions and new films. Nothing in his messages caused any alarm. On the contrary, Anna found herself eagerly awaiting new notifications. On the third day, Niels mentioned a small gallery in the South End area, where an exhibition of Japanese graphics was currently being held. "That's your favorite style, isn't it?" he wrote. Anna frowned. She didn't remember mentioning her love of Japanese art. Scrolling back through their correspondence, she was sure there was no mention of it. Maybe he just guessed? Or was it a coincidence? A day later, something even stranger happened. While discussing Boston restaurants, Niels wrote, "You love Thai food, right? There's a great place on Newbury Street that serves amazing tom yum. Not too spicy, just the way you like it." Anna stared at the screen. How could he know about her love of Thai food? And even more so, her preference for mild dishes. She scrolled through their correspondence again. No, she definitely hadn't mentioned those details. Despite her growing unease, Anna agreed to meet him. They arranged to have lunch on Sunday at a small cafe in the city center. Neutral territory, a crowded place, ideal conditions for a first meeting. Sunday turned out to be sunny. Anna arrived 15 minutes early and chose a table by the window. Her nervousness intensified when Niels appeared in the doorway. Tall, with regular features, dressed in a formal coat. He looked exactly like his photos, an attractive man with slight gray at the temples and an attentive gaze. "Anna?" His voice was deep, with a slight hoarseness. Something in that voice made her freeze, an inexplicable feeling of déjà vu. It was as if she had heard that tone before, but couldn't remember where. "Niels," she said, extending her hand. "Nice to meet you." His handshake was firm but not excessive. His palm was warm and dry. A perfect manicure, an expensive but understated watch, a subtle scent of perfume. Everything spoke of good taste and attention to detail. The conversation flowed smoothly over lunch. Niels proved to be a knowledgeable conversationalist. He talked about his eco-friendly building projects, his studies in Europe, his travels in Japan and Thailand. He periodically asked questions, showing genuine interest in Anna's work and hobbies. And yet something was wrong. It was elusive. Anna couldn't quite put her finger on what was bothering her. Sometimes it was his gestures, the characteristic tilt of his head, the way he tapped his fingers on the table when he was thinking. Sometimes it was his reactions. He seemed to know in advance what would make her laugh and what would make her think. "You know, I knew right away that we would find common ground," said Niels as they left the cafe. "You're exactly as I imagined you would be." "And I think you're full of surprises," Anna replied, watching his reaction closely. Something flashed in his eyes. Anxiety? But it disappeared immediately. "We're all a bit of a mystery to each other, aren't we?" He smiled. "That's what makes getting to know someone so exciting." Over the next 2 weeks, they met 3 more times. They went to a contemporary art exhibition, took a walk along the waterfront, and had dinner at that Thai restaurant. Anna found herself feeling comfortable in Niels's company. He was attentive, intelligent, and had a subtle sense of humor. No pressure, no manipulation. Everything she had been missing in her relationship with Alex. And yet the oddities continued. Once, during a walk, Niels stopped at a vinyl record store window. "Look, a Radiohead reissue. You love their early albums, especially the Bends, right?" Anna froze. She had never told him about her musical preferences, especially not about her love for a specific Radiohead album. This information was impossible to find on her social media. She rarely shared such things. "How do you know?" she asked directly. Niels hesitated for a second, then smiled. "Maybe you mentioned it in our correspondence? Or did I notice a sticker of the band on your laptop? I don't remember exactly." There was no sticker on her laptop, and she definitely didn't mention Radiohead in their correspondence. Anna felt a chill run down her spine. That evening, she called Jamie. "Don't you think you're just looking for problems where there aren't any?" her friend asked after listening to her long story about the strange occurrences. "Maybe he studied your social media more carefully?" "I checked everything. There's no information about Thai cuisine or Radiohead there," Anna objected. "And his voice, I swear I've heard it somewhere before." "Voices often seem familiar," Jamie remarked judiciously. "Listen, if you feel uncomfortable, just stop communicating with him." but I think your trauma after Alex is making you see threats where there aren't any. Maybe Jamie is right? Anna spent hours analyzing every meeting, every conversation with Niels. On the one hand, he was flawless, attentive, non-aggressive, respectful of boundaries. He was exactly the kind of man she had imagined in her dreams. On the other hand, there was his inexplicable knowledge of her preferences, those familiar gestures. What if her intuition was right? What if the perfect facade was hiding something sinister? 3 weeks after they met, Niels invited her to his place for dinner. The apartment in Beacon Hill, overlooking the park, looked like an illustration from an interior design magazine. Minimalist, but cozy. Shelves with books on architecture, a vintage record player, a collection of vinyl records, including the Bends. While Niels was preparing dinner, Anna looked around, trying to find clues. Something about this apartment seemed unreal, too perfect. Not a single personal item that would stand out from the carefully crafted image of a successful architect. Her gaze fell on a frame with a diploma from an architecture school. Anna moved closer. To Niels Eriksen, the inscription read. The date of issue was 7 years ago. Everything looked authentic. So why did she have the feeling that she was looking at a skillful forgery? I hope you like seafood. Niels's voice from the kitchen snapped her out of her thoughts. Yes, of course, she replied, stepping away from the wall with the diplomas. He knows I like seafood, flashed through her mind. But I definitely didn't tell him that. Her relationship with Niels was developing rapidly. They had seen each other almost every day for the past 2 weeks. Anna couldn't deny her growing affection, but her anxiety was growing along with it. After dinner at Niels's apartment, his behavior began to change, subtly, but enough to alarm a woman who had already experienced toxic relationships. At first, it was small things. Niels started texting her if she didn't respond within an hour. He began to take an interest in who she was having lunch with at the office. Once, he just happened to be near the Spark Design Agency building when she was finishing work. I was at a meeting nearby and decided to meet you, he explained at the time. Boston is not a small city, and the office was not located on the main street. Coincidence? Anna no longer believed in coincidences. Their 4th date was particularly memorable. At the restaurant, Anna ran into a colleague from a neighboring department, Mark. They exchanged pleasantries and discussed the upcoming project deadline. Just a normal work conversation, nothing more. But after Mark left, Niels became unusually quiet. Do you talk to him often? He asked when they left the restaurant. Only about work, Anna shrugged. He just looked at you with interest. There was no aggression in Niels's voice, just a statement of fact, but something in his tone made Anna cringe inwardly. It was the same tone Alex used to begin his manipulations. The next day, he sent her a bouquet of flowers, for no reason, just to make her happy. It was a nice gesture, but Anna remembered how such sudden gifts from Alex often preceded new restrictions and control. In the evening, while checking her email, she noticed a letter from an unknown sender. Inside was a link to the profile of an architectural firm in Chicago. Anna frowned. Niels had never mentioned working in Chicago. According to him, after graduating, he worked in Europe, then returned to Boston 3 years ago. The digital trail led her to the website of an architectural competition from 5 years ago. Niels Eriksen, a representative of the Chicago firm, was listed as a member of the jury. The photo was small, but Anna was sure it was him. Why did Niels hide this part of his biography? Was it harmless forgetfulness or deliberate deception? Another red flag appeared when she tried to find his social media accounts. His professional LinkedIn profile looked flawless, but it had only been created 6 months ago. Strange for a successful architect with many years of experience. Even stranger that his former colleagues or clients had not mentioned him. It was as if Niels Eriksen had simply not existed before his arrival in Boston. Anna decided to talk to Jamie. Her friend had always been her moral compass, especially when it came to relationships with people. Meeting in a small cafe, away from the office and places Niels frequented, seemed like a safe option. "Are you sure you're not overreacting?" Jamie asked after listening to her concerns. "After Alex, you've been seeing red flags everywhere." "Not everywhere," Anna objected. "But something's not right here. He knows things about me that I've never mentioned. His past is full of inconsistencies, and that controlling behavior." Jamie looked at his friend with concern. "Have you checked him out on social media? Googled him?" "Of course. Nothing significant before he moved to Boston 3 years ago. It's like he came out of nowhere." "I have a friend at a law firm who has access to some databases," Jamie said thoughtfully. "Maybe he can do a more thorough check." Anna hesitated. Was she crossing a line? But memories of how Alex had methodically destroyed her self-esteem and boundaries strengthened her resolve. "Do it," she nodded. "I need to know who I'm dealing with." Over the next few days, Anna tried to act normal. She met with Niels, replied to messages, but now carefully filtered the information she shared. She created a cover story about a business trip to New York the following week, a test to see how intrusive his control could become. The reaction was not long in coming. Niels first offered to go with her, then insisted on daily video calls, and finally, accidentally, found himself free on the same days and booked a room at the same hotel. "I found some great special offers," he explained. "I thought it would be nice to spend some time together after your work meetings." His voice remained soft, but his eyes betrayed his wariness. It seemed as if he was testing her reaction, looking for signs of deception. Anna felt a chill run down her spine. Alex used to look at her the same way when he caught her in a lie, even the most innocent one. Meanwhile, Jamie continued his investigation. His messages became increasingly alarmed. The architecture school diploma looks genuine, but there is no confirmation of his employment at the companies listed. The apartment is registered to a company, not an individual. "I can't find his tax returns or credit history before 2022. Jamie didn't limit himself to digital traces. He visited the office of the architectural firm where Niels supposedly worked, under the pretext of ordering a project. None of the employees could remember a person with that name. The firm's website mentioned him among its employees, but without a photo or specific projects. On Thursday evening, when Anna was late leaving the office, Jamie called. His voice sounded tense. "You won't believe what I found. Meet me in an hour at that bar on Newberry." "What's wrong?" Anna asked, alarmed. "Not over the phone," Jamie cut her off. "Just come, and be careful." Anna gathered her things and headed for the exit. In the parking lot, she noticed the familiar silhouette of a dark sedan, Niels's car. He couldn't have known she would be late, unless he was following her. Her heart began to race. Anna quickly returned to the building, exited through a side door, and hailed a taxi 2 blocks away. All the way to the bar, she checked to see if she was being followed. Paranoia or justified concern. It didn't matter anymore. Her instinct for self-preservation was screaming danger. Jamie was already at the bar, tense, with a tablet and a stack of printouts. "I have 2 pieces of news," he began without preamble. "First, Niels Erikson is not his real name." Anna felt the ground slip away beneath her feet. "Who is he?" she asked, not sure she wanted to know the answer. "I haven't figured that out yet, but I have a photo of the real Niels Erikson, an architect from Chicago." Jamie showed her the photo on his tablet. "He's definitely not the man you're dating." The real Niels was shorter, with heavier features and a receding hairline. The complete opposite of the attractive man Anna knew. "There's something else," Jamie continued. "I contacted a plastic surgeon I know. I showed him a photo of your Niels. He believes this man has undergone major plastic surgery. His nose, chin, and cheekbones have been altered, possibly even his hairline." Anna felt nauseous. Who would need to completely change their appearance and personality? And more importantly, why would this person need her? "Don't panic," Jamie squeezed her hand. "I've hired a private investigator. He'll start surveillance tomorrow. We'll find out who this man is." Anna nodded, unable to say a word. "In the meantime, you'd better take a couple of days off. You can stay with me," Jamie offered. "No, that will attract his attention." Anna shook her head. "I have to act normal until we find out the truth." They sat in the bar for another hour, discussing the details. Jamie insisted on installing a location tracking app on her phone. They agreed on a code word in case of danger. When they left the bar, it was already dark outside. A light rain was falling, turning the neon signs into blurry colored spots. Jamie offered to walk Anna home, but she refused. She needed to think alone. "I'm meeting with the detective tomorrow," Jamie said as he left. "Stay in touch, and don't let him see that you suspect anything." Anna watched her friend disappear around the corner when her phone vibrated. A message from Niels. "I hope you and Jamie had a good time at the bar on Newberry. We need to talk. Tomorrow. Alone." Anna froze. How did he know where she was? She looked around frantically but didn't see anyone nearby. Her phone vibrated again. A new message. "Don't worry about Jamie. I'll take care of him." At that moment, Jamie's silhouette appeared around the corner, returning to the bar. Anna rushed toward him, but it was too late. A dark sedan, moving slowly with its headlights off, suddenly accelerated. A scream caught in Anna's throat. It all happened in a matter of seconds. The dark sedan slammed on the brakes next to Jamie. Two men jumped out and pushed him inside. The car disappeared around the bend before she could do anything. With trembling hands, Anna dialed 911. The operators listened to her rambling story about the kidnapping and took down a description of the car and the attackers. They promised to send a patrol. Then there were hours of waiting at the police station, endless questions, and viewing surveillance camera footage. Jamie's body was found the next morning in an abandoned former factory building on the outskirts of South Boston. Anna learned about it from a phone call. Detective Elena Rivera's voice was professionally reserved, but with a hint of sympathy. "Miss Wright, we need your help with an identification." The morgue was surrounded by an unnatural silence, as if the building itself absorbed all sound. It was a cold, sterile space, smelling of disinfectant. Detective Rivera, a short woman with piercing dark eyes and early gray hair pulled back into a tight bun, met Anna at the entrance. "I warn you, it's not a pleasant sight," Rivera said. "If you can't identify him right away, we'll use other methods." But even that warning didn't prepare Anna for what she saw. Her friend's body lay on a metal table, covered with a sheet up to the neck. But the face was almost gone. The skin had been cut off so methodically that it looked more like the work of a surgeon than an act of violence. Anna identified Jamie only by a mole on his neck and a tattoo on his wrist. Leaving the morgue, she slid down the wall to the floor. Waves of nausea washed over her. Detective Rivera sat down next to her, handing her a bottle of water. "I need answers, Miss Wright. Who could have done this? And why?" Over the next few hours, Anna told her everything. About her suspicions about Niels, about Jamie's investigation, about how he discovered that Niels Erikson was not who he claimed to be, about the last ominous message. "Did you save that message?" Rivera asked. Anna checked her phone. The message had been deleted. What's more, all of Niels's messages from the past 2 weeks had disappeared. It was as if they had never existed. "He somehow gained access to my phone," Anna whispered. Rivera nodded, as if this confirmed her suspicions. "We need to check your apartment. There may be tracking devices installed there." The detective's fears were confirmed. 3 miniature microphones were found in Anna's apartment, in the bedroom, living room, and kitchen. There was also a hidden camera in a wall clock, a gift from Niels last week. Technical experts determined that the devices were transmitting everything that was happening in real time to a remote server. "A classic case of stalking using high technology," Rivera explained. "But what happened to your friend goes beyond ordinary harassment." Anna felt a new wave of panic wash over her. Niels knew everything that was happening in her apartment. He heard every conversation. He saw every movement. No wonder he knew about her preferences, which she had never mentioned to him. A phone call with Jamie, a discussion with a colleague, or even just listening to music was enough. The investigation progressed rapidly. Detective Rivera was an experienced professional specializing in crimes related to stalking and domestic violence. The technical expertise department recovered deleted messages from a cloud backup. Forensic experts found Niels's fingerprints in Jamie's apartment. He had been there before the murder, apparently looking for information about his past. It turned out that the sedan used for the kidnapping had been rented in the name of Niels Eriksson. Surveillance cameras recorded him and another person getting out of the car near an abandoned factory. The identity of the accomplice could not be established. He carefully avoided being caught on camera. "Everything points to your architect," Rivera said on the third day of the investigation. "But we still don't have his real identity. More importantly, we don't know where he is now. Niels has disappeared. His apartment was empty when they went there with a warrant. Almost all of his personal belongings were missing, as if he had been preparing to leave in advance. The architecture school diploma that Anna had seen was gone from the wall. Burnt remains of documents were found in the trash can. He had obviously destroyed the evidence before fleeing." Dr. Carr, the chief medical examiner, confirmed what was obvious at first glance. Jamie's face had been removed with surgical precision. "This is the work of someone with medical training or, at the very least, familiarity with anatomy," he stated, "possibly with experience in plastic surgery." Anna felt a chill run down her spine. Alex was a psychotherapist, but he had always been interested in surgery. He said it was his first calling, which he gave up because of a lack of creative freedom. In their conversations, he often demonstrated a deep knowledge of anatomy. But could he? No, it seemed too unlikely. On the 5th day after the murder, when Anna returned to her apartment accompanied by a police officer, an envelope was waiting for her. A simple white envelope with no stamps or writing slipped under the door. Inside was a dried rose and a note. "I did it for us. He tried to separate us. Now no one will come between us. Tomorrow, 8 p.m., our favorite restaurant." Detective Rivera organized an operation immediately. 3 officers were placed in the restaurant under the guise of regular patrons. Anna herself was equipped with a hidden microphone and a tracking device. The plan was simple. Anna had to find out as much information as possible without putting herself in danger. "At the first sign of danger, we'll intervene," Rivera assured her. "The main thing is not to provoke him. Let him talk." Niels showed up right on time. He looked impeccable, as always. Expensive suit, perfectly styled hair, calm smile. Nothing in his appearance betrayed a man on the run. "Anna," he kissed her hand. "I missed you." "Where have you been?" she asked, trying to control the tremor in her voice. "Why did you disappear?" "Business required my attention," he replied evasively. "But now everything is ready. We can leave together. Today. Right now." His eyes shone feverishly. His movements became more abrupt, more nervous. This was no longer the confident Niels she had met a month ago. Sitting in front of her was a man on the verge of a breakdown. "Where would we go?" Anna asked cautiously. "It doesn't matter. Far away from here. Somewhere no one will find us." He lowered his voice. "I know the police questioned you. I know about the microphone." Anna felt her heart sink. "Niels, that's not my name," he interrupted. "But you know that, don't you? Your friend dug up a lot before he died." He leaned closer. "Anna, don't you recognize me, after everything we've been through?" At that moment, she looked into his eyes, really looked, trying to see something behind the mask of his new face. And she saw it. The same eyes that once made her feel insignificant, the same intonations that made her shudder at night. "Alex," she whispered. His lips stretched into a smile. "Finally. I thought I'd have to lay all my cards on the table." Anna felt the room begin to spin. But how? Why? For you, of course, he said, as if it were obvious. When you left, I realized I couldn't live without you. But you didn't take my calls or reply to my messages. You erased me from your life. He took a sip of water, never taking his eyes off her face. I thought about it a lot. I analyzed it. What made you leave? It wasn't my behavior, no. You would have forgiven me, as you had before. It was my face. You couldn't look at it anymore. It reminded you of all our conflicts. The solution was obvious. Become someone else. A new name, a new profession, a new face. Alex touched his chin, running his fingers along his cheekbones. 4 surgeries in 6 months, each one a step closer to you. Did it hurt? Yes. But it was worth it. I studied you, observed you, learned your new preferences. And then I created the perfect man, one who would attract you. Anna felt a wave of nausea. The thought that Alex had been watching her all this time, following her, studying her life. It was unbearable. What about Jamie? She asked, trying to buy time. She knew the police were listening, gathering evidence. Alex's smile turned cold. He meddled in something that wasn't his business. He wanted to destroy what I had spent so long building, our union, our new life. He reached across the table, trying to take her hand. But now nothing stands between us. We can start over. I've become exactly what you wanted me to be. Perfect. Something frightening flashed in his eyes, an obsession bordering on madness. Anna realized she was dealing with a man completely detached from reality, a man who was capable of anything, even literally erasing his face and creating a new one. Why now? She asked. Why did you decide to open up today? Because there's no time left, Alex replied. The police are close, too close. We need to leave tonight. I've got everything ready, new documents, money. We'll start a new life where no one can find us. His fingers squeezed her wrist with unexpected force. You'll come with me, won't you? Otherwise, all this will have been for nothing. Everything I've done, everything I've been through. There was a threat in his voice. Anna knew that tone all too well. We have a recording of his confession, Detective Rivera said, reviewing the material obtained from Anna's microphone. But it's not enough to charge him with murder. He was careful with his wording. After the meeting at the restaurant, Anna found herself in an unbearable situation. Alex gave her 24 hours to make a decision. Either she leaves with him, or she'll regret it. The police could arrest him now, but charges of harassment and threats would not guarantee a long prison sentence. They needed irrefutable evidence of his involvement in Jamie's murder. I can help, Anna offered, fighting the tremor in her voice. He trusts me. He thinks he can manipulate me like before. The plan was risky, but feasible. Anna had to pretend to agree to run away with Alex. While preparing for departure, she would try to elicit a confession or find evidence. The police would monitor their every move, ready to intervene at the slightest threat. It's too dangerous, Rivera objected. He's unstable. If he realizes you're playing games, he could react unpredictably. But Anna was adamant. Jamie had died helping her. She couldn't let his killer go unpunished. Meanwhile, the investigation team had discovered new evidence. In the warehouse Alex had rented, they found surgical instruments with traces of blood. The tire marks from his car matched those found near the murder scene. But the main discovery was a recording from a surveillance camera in a private plastic surgery clinic. Dr. Robert Carr, a renowned plastic surgeon with a questionable reputation, performed operations outside of his official schedule. For the right price, he asked no questions and required no documentation. It was he who testified that Alex Crawford had paid him a large sum of money for a series of radical operations. He came with photos and clear instructions, Dr. Carr said during questioning. He wanted a completely new face and talked about a second chance. I performed 4 surgeries in 6 months, changing the contours of his face, nose, chin, and hairline. Technically, it was a flawlessly executed transformation. When investigators showed him a photo of Jamie, the doctor turned pale. Yes, he was one of my patients. He came in for a consultation. He asked about methods of facial reconstruction after trauma and was interested in the very patient whose appearance I had changed. I refused to disclose any information. The scattered pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. Jamie had gotten too close to the truth. He visited the clinic, trying to find evidence of Neil's changing his appearance, and he became a threat that Alex couldn't ignore. On the day of the escape, Anna called Alex. "I agree," she said, rehearsing every word. "You're right. We need to start over. Together." They agreed to meet at his new apartment. Anna arrived with a small bag, supposedly containing the essentials for their escape. Under her clothes was a new type of microphone, virtually invisible even upon close inspection. Alex's apartment turned out to be a cheap studio in an unremarkable neighborhood, the complete opposite of Niels Erikson's elegant home. Cards, documents, and fake passports were scattered everywhere. On the wall were photographs of Anna, dozens, hundreds of photographs, pictures in the office, at home, with friends. Some were taken from a distance, others clearly through the window of her apartment. "Do you like my collection?" Alex asked, noticing her gaze. "I've been watching you for 8 months. Every day, every hour. I studied you all over again." Anna swallowed, fighting back her disgust. "Why didn't you come right away? Why all this drama with Niels?" "You wouldn't have taken me back," Alex shrugged. "Not after you left. You needed someone new, someone perfect, and I became that person." He picked up a folder from the table and handed it to Anna. "Our new identities. You'll be Sophia Miller, I'll be David Grant. Plane tickets to Mexico, then on to Costa Rica. We'll start with a clean slate." Anna carefully leafed through the documents, buying time. "What about Jamie? The police won't stop investigating just because we disappear." Alex's face darkened. "By the time they find anything, we'll be far away. I've thought of everything. I've covered all my tracks." "But why his face?" Alex's smile turned cold. "Poetic justice. He tried to destroy my new face, my new life. So I took his. Just as he tried to steal you from me, I stole the very essence of his identity." Anna felt a chill run down her spine. The man in front of her was insane in the most dangerous sense of the word, with clinical methodicalness, with rational explanations for the most monstrous deeds. "You killed him because of me," she said, trying to sound more admiring than horrified. Alex moved closer, cupping her face in his hands. "I would do it again, and I will, to anyone who tries to come between us. I was reborn for you, Anna. I literally erased my past to create a new future." It was just what she needed, a direct confession, recorded on the microphone. Anna knew that the capture team was already approaching the doors, but Alex suddenly pulled away, his gaze becoming suspicious. "Although, you know something's not right here. You're too calm, too collected." His hand slid to her neck, feeling her collar. "What's this?" It all happened in a split second. Alex found the microphone and threw Anna against the wall. He grabbed a gun from the desk drawer. His face was frozen in a mask of rage, an expression Anna remembered all too well from their past life. "I gave you a second chance," he hissed through clenched teeth. "I erased my face for you, and you betrayed me. Again." The door shattered into splinters under the impact of the battering ram. Police officers in bulletproof vests stormed into the apartment. Detective Rivera was in the front row, his gun pointed at Alex. "Drop your weapon, on the floor, hands behind your head." The second stretched into eternity. Alex looked at Anna with an expression of absolute hatred. Then he slowly lowered his gun and collapsed to his knees. "She never appreciated my sacrifices," he said as he was handcuffed. "I cut the veins of my former self, was reborn, and she took him away, still muttering about ingratitude and betrayal." Anna remained standing in the middle of the room, surrounded by photographs that testified to a painful obsession. The trial was closed but high profile. The press learned the horrific details. A psychotherapist who stalked his former partner, changed his appearance, and committed a brutal murder. The defense tried to argue insanity, but a psychiatric evaluation found Alex Crawford sane and capable of understanding the consequences of his actions. Dr. Carr's testimony, the results of the examinations, the photo archive of surveillance, and, most importantly, the recorded confession proved to be irrefutable evidence. The jury deliberated for only 3 hours. Verdict: guilty on all counts. Sentence: life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. A year later, Anna stood in the cemetery in front of Jamie's grave. The cool autumn wind ruffled her hair, now cut short. The new look was part of her rebirth after the nightmare she had endured. "I'm moving," she said quietly, placing white chrysanthemums on the gravestone. "I got an offer from a design studio in Seattle. A new city, new people. I think I need it. Therapy, support groups for survivors of abusive relationships, trauma work. The last year has been difficult. But for the first time in a long time, Anna felt hope. Not just surviving day by day, but a real future. She no longer checked for surveillance when entering her apartment. She no longer woke up from nightmares where Alex looked at her with a changed, unrecognizable face. The fear remained, but it no longer defined her life. The plane ticket was in her bag. A new apartment awaited her in a city where no one knew her story. A clean slate, but not an escape, a conscious move forward. "I'll miss you," Anna whispered, touching the cold stone with her fingers. "But you'll always be with me. You taught me to appreciate true friendship." She looked back at the grave one last time and walked down the alley toward the exit. The future was unknown, but it no longer frightened her. Anna knew that no matter what happened, she would endure. She had survived the worst nightmare and emerged stronger.